Hello, my name is Denise Scaloni. I'd like to welcome you to Empowering Women. Several years ago, I started my own home-based business. I had so many wonderful women help me along the way. I decided to create this TV show to introduce you to some of those women. Today, my guests are Karen Schuley of Face to Face Healing and Melanie Calusi of From Startup to Success. I hope you enjoy today's episode. My guest today is Karen Schuley, the Executive Director and co-founder of Face to Face Healing. Hi, Karen. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor.
Oh, I'm honored that you're here with me. I need to share with the audience that a lot of my guests in the past have been friends of mine I've known for years and years. We just met today.
Exactly.
We just met today because I saw your story in Inspiring Lives magazine and I reached out to you.
Yes.
And I asked you to come on the show because I was so inspired, and that's how we met.
Exactly, yes.
And we'll talk about it in a minute, but can you tell me a little bit about your background? I know you have a nursing background.
Yes. So I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for over probably almost 30 years. I also did case management. I was a supervisor for complex case management at Highmark. Did a clinical client relations there as well. And then did a lot with case management, but really enjoyed that. But nursing, I did open heart, I did orthopedics, so I've done a little bit of everything. Worked in the ER, so I really have a very diverse background. So
was that your passion, nursing?
Nursing is my passion, so it's part of who I am.
I think when you're a nurse, it has to be your passion.
It is.
It's such hard work.
It is, but you know, it's very rewarding. So helping others, and whether it's a touch of your hand, whether it's giving a smile, and helping them feel a little bit calm, it's part of that healing process, which gets them, you know, a little bit more support, and they feel a little bit better. You know,
more the personal touch.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. But you're not in nursing any longer.
I am in a different realm of nursing, so yes.
Okay. So sometimes life has a tendency to throw some curveballs you're not expecting.
Yes,
and I think
exactly.
That's what happened with you, isn't it?
It
Do
is.
you mind sharing your story?
No, not at all. So you know, my face looks different than most, so that's kind of like where my story begins. I had cancer in the side of my face that kind of went into all my structures. It also into the nerves. And so it required many surgeries. It required chemotherapy and radiation therapy, more surgeries, very grueling process, very difficult. But, you know, I had a 7-year-old son at the time, and so I knew I had to do whatever I had to do to get through it, because I was told it was a very aggressive tumor, and that if I didn't, that I wouldn't live. So here I am, so I'm thankful for that. And all the physicians at Chase Hospital Foundation, or I'm sorry, Chase Hospital, and also the physicians at Hillman and all the healthcare professionals, because of them, I'm actually here.
Because this came out of the blue, didn't it? It's
It did.
Something people don't expect to get sick.
Exactly.
It's something major.
It is. So in 2012, you know, having this diagnosis, prior to that, I was working at Highmark. You know, I finished my double master's degree in nursing and business, and you know, I was kind of climbing that corporate ladder, so to speak, and looking for, you know, the next
for your career.
Yeah,
building your career.
The next option, and then it kind of like came to a stop. It was halted. You know, I had severe pain starting in my jaw, raining down my face, and just trying to look out, you know, what was going on. And so originally they said it was neurological with Bell's palsy and trigeminal neuralgia, and it just, you know, wasn't going away. And so I went to see Dr. Shakin, who actually saved my life. He actually diagnosed me with the cancer. So it was a turning point in my life. And, you know, oftentimes, you know, I'm not going to say that I didn't say why me.
Right.
But I will tell you that it was a blessing, you know, in disguise, so to speak. You know, I wasn't happy about it, but looking back, you know, it's really something that kind of changed my focus and changed my mission to something that was even though I like to help people, and I did that, you know, through case management or even like helping people on the exterior, but it really put me back into the personal touch aspect and helping people in that regard.
Is everything okay now?
Yes, I'm actually cancer-free, 7 years, so yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I'm very excited about that.
Thank goodness for that.
And my son's actually freshman now in high school, so I'm just so happy about that.
So life's good now.
Yes, life is good.
So you were in Inspiring Lives magazine. That's how I came to hear your story. What was it like? Can you hold it up and show the audience the magazine? And
so this is the magazine. This is a summer edition. Dr. Shelley Hipsky, right here in the middle, she actually reached out to me and asked me if I would be willing to share my story, and I said sure. Right. So originally I thought it was just sharing my story, right? I didn't think about, you know,
a little blurb in there maybe.
Yeah, I didn't think about all the things that went along with it. But you know, being able to be in here, and it was really a pivotal time. I mean, it was life-changing for me actually, being part of this, and you know, sharing my stories. You know, we have Hanifa here, who is one of the individuals that I've been working with through Face-to-Face Healing, and she shares her story. She was an acid attack survivor from Uganda. Amazing story and very supportive. Yeah. This is my story. This outfit here. So when you go, you know, you do get your hair and makeup done. You got, you know, get to go to somewhere to be able to, you know, do fashion. So I got to go to Treasure House Fashions and meet Sally Powers, and she's amazing. So she actually gifted me this outfit. And this was me as a nurse, you know, in nursing school, and my son here. And then Hanifa shared her story. And then you have Rachel. Rachel was 15 when she was in a car accident. So she actually works in Inspiring Lives, and she's the one that really wanted to do something that talked about disfigurement and that type of thing. So she was great. And being able, you know, she had gone through a window or a car windshield, and so like her lip was torn off. And so she's amazing and very inspirational. And then you have here, you know, the whole day, but I shared my poem, and which is amazing, but it's actually on my website as well. But it talks about, you know, what do you see when you look at me? And it kind of goes through my healing process. Right. But being in this was something that, you know, I've been giving back for years. And so then, you know, being able to get my hair and makeup done and going through the fashion shoot, and just you feel so special.
Right.
And I don't really think I expressed the gratitude to Shelley that I think she deserves, that her reaching out to me and being part of this made me feel so special. All of us there that day were so connected, even though our stories are so different. Right. But there was that connection. Yeah, it automatically when you see each other, it's like that connection. That's what I have when I see people, you know, in person. So that was just a great day, and I can't thank Shelley enough for, she just has this innate ability to kind of push someone a little bit more, but not further than they need to be, but just enough to get them where they need to go. Right. So I thank you so much, Shelley. I greatly appreciate that.
Love Shelley.
Yes, I do too. I do too.
Did you ever think you'd be in a national magazine telling your story?
No, not at all. You know, I thought, you know, because it started in Pittsburgh, and so we have the, you know, the nonprofits in Pittsburgh, and just sharing my story, you know, locally. And I've actually, you know, reached out to MD Anderson in Texas. I've worked with them a little bit. You know, I've worked with a little bit with Johns Hopkins. You know, they have a facial transplantation team, but not really to the recognition, because this is actually over, like, I think 630 magazines in Barnes & Noble, and I think it was also picked up by Books A Million as well. So it's just such an honor, and I'm just so blessed.
Your story is so inspirational, because there may be some out there watching
that
thinks, oh, why did this happen to me? And my life is over.
Yes.
And it's not, because look at the wonderful things. Let's talk about Face-to-Face Healing.
Yes.
What made you decide to get involved with that? And tell the audience a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. So when I was going through this, you know, I was searching for help for myself, and I just kept searching, and it was, you know, very difficult. You know, the doctors do all they can. They put you back together, and they provide that support for you. But you're really left with that gap of emotional support. And so when you have that, you know, you're really looking for someone to connect with that understands what you've been going through, to be able to share in your journey, right? So I was looking, and I really searched really hard. You know, I went everywhere, and I went to different support groups. I went to counseling, and no one really understood what I was going through. I felt so alone. There was no one like me, and that the voice I once had was gone. So I just kept thinking, like, what can I do? Right. So, you know, being a previous nurse and case manager, you know, I decided to start something to fill that void, and here we are. So it was Face-to-Face Healing. I was very fortunate. Dr. Dan Patouche, who is the co-founder with me on this, he was a maxillofacial surgeon, so he was supposed to rebuild my jaw, but because of the grueling radiation treatment that I had, I was not able to have that surgery. And so this is kind of like what I'm left with. So back in 2014, when I was in his chair, you know, my hope was to have my face rebuilt and I would have some, you know, more autonomy, you know, right?
Because we all want to go back to how we looked.
Exactly.
Right.
So then there I was, and I'm in his chair, and he's like, unfortunately, we cannot do this. And I was just like, oh no, you know, I'm crying, you know, sobbing, like, what do you mean?
What else?
Where can I go? You know, where do you know? Where do you send your patients after you put them all back together? You know, you have car accidents and you have cancer patients and all these different things. And fortunately for most of the patients, he's able to put them back together because they have not had radiation or chemo.
Okay.
So unfortunately for us, you know, we're not able to have that done. But he does a beautiful work. I've seen many pictures of patients before, you know, when they've had the accident or something, and then how he's rebuilt their faces. And it's just amazing. So I just kept thinking, like, what can I do? So feeling alone, I mean, I pushed my family, supportive family and friends away because I was trying to process all this. I couldn't figure out for myself, you know, how do I go forward? You know,
and they don't know how to help you.
No, I mean, they do the best they can.
Right.
They're trying to be there supportive. They try to encourage, you know, you look beautiful, you know, but it's really about
how you feel.
Perception of the person.
Right.
And so that for me, you know, I was thinking about all the things I lost. You know, I lost my hearing. I lost, you know, my taste, you know, from the radiation. I lost my hair at that time. And so you think, I lost the physical ability. I used to work out all the time. Now I can't do that as much. So, you know, you think about all the things you lose and you regularly focus on that. And then one day I just kept thinking, you know, my son is so important to me. Like, I want to be a role model for him. I want him to know that you can do anything you set your mind to, right?
Right.
And I want him to move forward. I mean, oftentimes it's like a grenade blows up in your life, puzzle you work so hard to orchestrate,
it's
right?
gone.
And then now you have like holes in it. So like some are too big, some are too small, and you're trying to put that back together and you're trying to figure out how can I do that? So I wanted to be able to be a role model for my son and be able to show him that you can move forward no matter what adversity you face, right? So then looking out there, and Dr. Patouche, you know, introduced me to Louise Brown, who is executive director of the Shakeside Hospital Foundation, an amazing person. She heard my story and felt compelled, we have to do something. So they actually gave us a grant to start in 2014. And we got a grant for 2014, 2015, and 2016. And we were able to kind of like build slowly about what we're doing. So we did that on our website. And we were able to have like interactive stories on the website and like a blog. And so we're able to provide, you know, inspiration and support. Because I kept thinking, here I am in that dark room.
Right.
What would it have taken for me to feel like I had support or someone understood what I was going through? So we have that. We also have, you know, the ability to outreach to individuals. So I can go to someone's house. I can go to someone's, you know, to the clinic where they're at, their hospital. You know, I can go there and talk to them in person. The reason we call it face-to-face because I wanted them to know that I'm speaking with you face-to-face. And oftentimes, you know, it's that healing process starts.
Right.
We kind of like pull ourselves back and we don't really want to see someone in person. But once you do, then we have that connection. It really kind of where the healing starts. So that's amazing. We have support groups, you know, in person, but we last year we actually grew it to being able to have it nationally. So we're able to connect through video conferencing, which is like PHI protection, be able to connect New Jersey and California and different states, which is really great.
What an amazing story, an amazing organization. What can we do to help? If someone needs your services, we'll have your website on there.
Yes.
So they can go to your website and find out more information. How can we help?
I think by, you know, one of the things is like being kind, you know, being kind to people like us, you know, including us in a conversation, giving us a smile to let us know that you acknowledge that we exist, you know, because oftentimes if you pull away and you don't really look at us, you know, that's a big thing.
I think people don't know what to say.
Exactly. I think that's the thing. It's like someone did remind me, even a child sometimes, you know, they pull their child away because they're afraid their child's going to say something.
Right.
And we look at it as, you know, you're avoiding us, you know, but when you start thinking about the other option, you realize that, okay, it was maybe better that the child didn't say something that was maybe hurtful to your feelings.
Right, because who knows what a child's going to say.
I mean, exactly. So being able to do that. But I think acts of kindness, and we're actually doing an acts of kindness campaign. We're starting that because I really want people to know, doing a challenge to like try to help people, do acts of kindness and do it on a daily basis, as opposed to bullying is really a better option.
Yeah.
We have the Mission of Mercy Pittsburgh free dental care event that we actually hosted in the last 2 years. We're actually working on that for 2019.
Okay.
So you can volunteer to be part of that. We have healthcare professionals, nurses, dentists, dental hygienists, that type of thing.
There's lots of ways to help.
But general, yeah, as well. And then making a donation to help us so we can actually continue to support individuals like ourselves.
Any final thoughts?
I think the main thing is when someone's facing adversity, it really doesn't matter if you're dealing with disfigurement or living with disfigurement. It's really about for anybody out there. It's that, you're more than your face. You're more than your scars. I mean, they could be internal, they could be external, but you're so much more than that. You have to look at, we're a whole person.
Right.
It's not just the beauty on the outside. It's really about the beauty on the inside. Mm-hmm. And I've really found that the stories I've actually encountered with individuals who have maybe a disfigurement or scars, their beauty has actually increased,
Right.
They've grown so much because of that.
Right.
So I really take the time to listen to someone's stories, even veterans. I mean, they're amazing. I mean, we're really trying to work and see what we can do to help them as well. So.
Yeah. I'm so glad I reached out to you.
Yes,
and I'm
too.
so glad we're friends now.
Yes, me too.
And thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. I know people will be inspired and go to your website and get more information.
Yes, absolutely. So
thank you so much, Karen.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
My next guest is Melanie Calusi, the founder and president of From Startup to Success. Hi, Melanie. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Denise. I'm really excited to be here.
I'm so excited that you're here, too. Would you share with the audience a little bit about your company, From Startup to Success?
Sure. So From Startup to Success started a little over a year ago now, after I'd written my book, From Startup to Success,
Yes.
Navigating the Journey to Becoming and Staying a Successful Entrepreneur. And, the goal of From Startup to Success is really to help give business owners or just business-minded people the little extra push or roadmap that often we need in order to take our businesses to the next level.
What made you decide to write the book, Melanie?
Oh, so I own 2 companies, actually.
That was going to be my next question. You want to talk about your other company?
Sure.
I can't imagine starting 2 companies. It was hard enough a decision to start 1 company for me, and you started 2.
I did. Sometimes I actually, if I'm being really honest, kind of lucked into or just happened into my first company. So I've been in financial services for over 20 years now at this point. So I grew up professionally, working with a bunch of men, because financial services is primarily male dominated. Yeah, just the way it is, and that's fine. And so as I moved from Montana, actually, which I talk about in my book, but as I moved from Montana out to Pittsburgh, I very naively thought that I would have all these clients come with me from Montana, and that was not the case.
Did it happen?
No, I had, I think, 5 actually come, and one of them was my parents, so I don't really count them.
They count.
But it forced me to start my business over, and that was what led to creating Bridger Financial Group. And in starting the business over, I went through all of the same struggles, fears, anxiety, confusion that a lot of new business owners went through, even though I'd been in financial services for so long. And so From Startup to Success actually started as a result of just many conversations that I've had with business owners over the years, as well as then my own struggles in starting my business over out in Pittsburgh. When I moved, I knew 1 person. So I really was starting the business over from scratch. And so that was the goal, really, in writing the book as well, is it has a lot of my story in it and talks about a lot of the steps that I went through in order to create the best business I could.
Right. It's a wonderful book. I remember telling you when I first read it, I thought, I wish I would have read this book 4 years ago. It'll really save me some time and aggravation.
Thank you.
It's a great book. What does your company do from startup to success?
So we have a lot of different services that we offer. We offer accountability services. So if you just need that little extra kick in the rear to get done what you know you need to get done.
And some of us need that every once in a while.
Absolutely. We can do that. And then sometimes if you're just not sure what you need to do, either you're brand new starting out and really want help creating the best plan that you can, or if you're years in the business and aren't sure what you need to do to take it to the next level, we can help create that roadmap. As well, I have some video series that I'm working on right now. So if you are more do-it-yourself and just want to learn at your leisure, that'll be an option here coming soon. And then recently, I took over Pittsburgh Women's Mastermind.
Can you explain what that is?
Yeah, so Pittsburgh Women's Mastermind, when I first moved to Pittsburgh, well, actually about 2 years ago, I was really looking for just a group of women that could help support me.
And that's how we met.
And that's how we met, actually. And so through Pittsburgh Women's Mastermind, I became a member a couple of years ago. And the group is all about education, support, and just collaboration. And I loved that. It's not your traditional networking group where you have to be on stage or in center stage and really sell.
Right.
And so a few months ago, the prior owner, founder, and I started talking about the possibility of me taking over the group. She was looking at kind of transitioning her business, and as part of my vision and mission for From Startup to Success, I was looking to expand my reach in helping other women entrepreneurs. And so we made it official September 1st, and I took it over at that point in time. Yeah, it's exciting. And it's been so much fun meeting all these wonderful women.
That's when I started my business. I had no one to turn to. I didn't have anyone around me that was an entrepreneur. And other people, they don't understand the struggles that you're going through.
Right.
So, well, you don't have stress. You work for yourself. I have different stress.
Right.
So it was great joining that group and finding other women had the same things. They're laying at night thinking, did I make the right choice? What am I going to do? So that is wonderful. And I can't wait to see the direction that you take the group in.
Well, we have a lot of really exciting changes that we are going to be rolling out at the beginning of the year, so in January of 2019.
It's a great time to do it.
Yeah. And we are expanding the group, so lots and lots of new things that we're doing to try and improve and enhance the group.
That's great. Your book, Melanie, From Startup to Success, Navigating the Journey to Becoming and Staying a Successful Entrepreneur. I love how it's written in short chapters and just tells you what you need, and then you have some resources listed.
Right.
Can you give the audience watching just a few tips of some things they should be doing if they want to start their business or grow their business?
Yes.
Just a couple, like a to-do list, a couple quick things.
Sure. Well, first and foremost, I would say being great in business isn't about doing big things. It's about doing little things consistently. And if you walk away from listening to this with that, that's the best piece of advice I could give.
Wonderful advice.
It's all about consistency. Now, in addition to that, though, it's important to have your why, your mission, for example. And what does your business look like? Your vision of what your business looks like in the next 1, 3, or 5 years. So having a mission and a vision statement written down as well is critical to the success of your business. And then, of course, you have to have goals. So having precise written goals with action steps to accomplish those goals and reviewing them. Don't stick them in a drawer to get dusty or anything like that,
Right.
but reviewing those regularly is also really important.
Melanie, how important is it to have those goals written down so that you could see them?
Yeah.
I know for years I didn't. I just had it in here. I knew what I wanted to do.
Well, we have so many other thoughts going on in our mind and so many things that we, have to do throughout the day. If you don't have your goals written down, it's really easy to forget or maybe push off a little bit and prioritize with other things that you're thinking about.
Right.
So by writing down your goals, reviewing them on a regular basis gives you a significantly higher probability of actually accomplishing those.
That makes sense. How often do you review your goals?
I actually review my goals on a weekly basis.
Oh, wow. So it really keeps you on point. So
it
you're moving
does.
forward.
It
A lot
does.
of times with goals, you'll write a goal down and you won't look at it again until the end of the year. And you
Right.
think, oh, I didn't do it.
Well, think about the productivity that happens in corporate America. The bulk of it occurs in the fourth quarter.
Right.
Because people have that perceived deadline of the end of the year
Yes.
where they know that they need to get all this stuff
Do or
done.
die, right.
Right? And so I have made a conscious decision to actually shorten up my quote unquote year into 90-day blocks of time. And so my deadline, I have 4 deadlines on a calendar year instead of just one.
Okay.
And that gives me more consistency and more predictability with my outcomes as far as my production, my, what business I'm generating.
So do you break down big goals into smaller chunks? Is that how you do it?
I do.
Because sometimes you just can't look at that big goal. It's too overwhelming.
It's overwhelming and you don't know where to start.
Right.
So if you break it down into smaller pieces, it's much more manageable and definitely not as overwhelming then.
And that's something you can review weekly or monthly or however you want to redo it.
Right.
That makes a lot of sense. Again,
Right.
Where were you 4 years ago? I didn't know you then. Anything else you want to say about the book?
Well, as you had mentioned, the book is really designed to help just be an easy manual for doing the things that you need to do. I really want people to use it as a workbook. Highlight in it, tear pages out. At the very end of the book, there is a checklist. So if you just want that Cliff Notes version of the important things to do, it's definitely in there. I wrote the book just out of my passion to try and help other people not struggle with the same challenges I had.
Right.
So it's available both on Kindle, through Amazon, and it is a download through my website as well.
And we'll have all your information on there so everybody could see your website.
Yeah, great.
I love it because I read the book from start to finish. From start to success, start to finish. My little pun there. But you can also go back and just read the chapters that you need.
Right.
So it's a reference tool also.
Well, and often, as we learn things, it's easy to forget too, especially as you're getting bombarded with all these new things that we have to do as business owners. And so it's important to occasionally go back and just reference anything that you've learned, not only chapters in the book, but other pieces too, because you pick up things little by little and it all adds up.
It does all add up. So you have 2 companies. You
Yes.
have a book.
Yes.
You're leading Pittsburgh Women's Mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
What's next for Melanie Calusi?
Oh, what's next?
You have people are probably wondering how you do it. You have a family, you have children.
I do. I have 3 kids, 3 cats, I must mention, my husband. So I get up really early in the morning, though, too. So that's where I get a lot of uninterrupted time where I can either write or plan and work on those strategic items for my businesses. So what's next? That's a great question. I do have a couple of other book ideas mulling around in my mind, and I really am working on finishing the video series that I want to have available by the end of the year. And then it's focusing on just growing Pittsburgh Women's Mastermind so we can help more women entrepreneurs. That's definitely one of my highest objectives.
That's wonderful. You're going to help so many people. Any final thoughts you want to share with the audience?
Yeah, when I moved to Pittsburgh and started my business, I can't tell you how many nights I just second-guessed what I was doing, and I was worried, and how was I going to pay my bills, and really making sure that I was doing the right things. So I've been there, and that was why I created From Startup to Success. So for any entrepreneur or business-minded person, if you struggle with those same challenges and you don't know what to do, you don't know the next steps, or as I said before, you just really want that extra kick in the rear to take your business to the next level, we're there to help. So however it is that we can help, we want to support you. And to that end, I actually offer as well a 30-minute complimentary business assessment too, which you can sign up through my website. So we really take a look at where you're at in business now, and I help give you some ideas on how things to implement to help take it to the next level.
Melanie, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story and talking about your book and giving us tips.
Well, thank you for having me. Just however I can help.
Great, thank you.
Thank you for watching today's episode of Empowering Women. I would like to thank my guests, Karen Schuley of Face to Face Healing and Melanie Calusi of From Startup to Success. Both these women gave inspirational stories. I hope they inspired and empowered you to live your dreams. Thank you for watching and see you next time.